There's people who are in shape, and then there's here we are in Gunlock, Utah, the metropolis, the megatropolis, I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're north of 700,000 people.
It's huge. I actually was itching my eye a little bit, and I didn't realize I'd actually missed it, so I had to turn around and go back. And anyway, this is Scott. You know Scott. Hey. Scott's been on the vlog before. We're gonna do some photographing in this little town. But the main thing we want to do, well, the main thing is the photos, of course. It's always the photos. But today we're going to be doing a lens comparison. So Scott, do you want to take them through what we're doing today?
Yeah, so I'll be shooting the 12mm Samyang or Rokinon f2 attached to the Fuji X-T2.
And I've got the 16mm f1.4 Fuji on the XE3. I've actually got a surprising number of people, and maybe it's just because they're the main two wide angle options for Fuji right now, but I get so many questions about these two lenses, people wanting to know which one should I pick up, which surprised me because I feel like they're in different classes, really. I mean, I don't know, how much does that one go for?
This is cheap. I think I paid, I feel like it's a little more now, but I think I paid like $275 or $290 or something like that.
Right. And this thing's what? I don't even remember, like 900 or something. So I mean, for
a very different class.
Yeah, different class of lens entirely. But yet people want to know which one do I pick up. I don't know that we're going to be able to tell you which to pick up. All the people who want to know that. That's going to basically depend on your budget. But probably the real question is, if I want really high quality wide angle, can I get away with the Rokinon / Samyang option as opposed to spending the major bucks for this guy? There's some obvious differences, and probably one of the biggest is the depth of field that you just won't be able to capture with the Samyang.
The autofocus.
And right.
This is manual focus.
And the autofocus. So those should be fairly obvious. So the plan is, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick some spots here in this tiny town, and we're gonna both try to get the best image we can in that location. We'll probably post our favorite one, one with that one and one with this one. Does that sound good?
Sounds good. All
right, so here we go. For those who haven't heard my glowing praise of the 16mm f1.4, let me bring you up to speed. This lens is awesome. It's extremely sharp, and even at the extreme low and high ends of its aperture range, it retains surprising sharpness. Its build quality is superb. It has a fast autofocus, and it has a clutch focus system that makes manual focus a breeze and a pleasure to use. The bokeh is creamy and pleasing, and the distortion is kept down surprisingly well for a lens so wide. In my opinion, it's as close to perfect as any lens I've owned. The Rokinon or Samyang 12mm f2 lens has also garnered a lot of praise lately for its surprising quality for a lens more on the budget end of things. Its build quality isn't anything to write home about, but it doesn't feel like it's going to break if you sneeze on it either. While some people will shy away from manual focus lens, it's important to keep in mind that with a lens this wide, the depth of field is massive, and it becomes fairly simple to ensure things are in focus, especially if they are further away than a few feet.
That does not feel good on the gut.
If you plan on shooting a lot of landscape, architecture, or anything you'd want to shoot with a small aperture, you may even prefer manual focus with a lens this wide.
This shot is at f2. So we'll see if the abandoned junkyard bokeh looks.
As we start to see some of these side-by-side shots, there are some differences you'll likely notice. Things like bokeh, color, compression, and distortion, all of which we'll talk about individually.
This is always fascinating to me. So this person died in 1926. And they still got people leaving flowers.
And Gatorade, apparently. With the Rokinon, you're going to get a lot more distortion than you would with a Fuji, as you can see here when it's corrected. Not a big deal to correct in post, but something to be aware of. It is a little creepy, right?
Yeah. It's like a cowboy grave. Whether I can get that with this.
What's the minimum focus on that lens?
I don't remember the sheet, but this says 2.2, so that's probably 0.2 of a meter.
What's that in American?
7.8 inches.
So because this has the close, that has a 7.2-ish?
7.8-ish, yeah.
7.8-ish. This has a 5 point something. So 2 inches closer, close focus. Here we compare the difference in bokeh. Clearly things are smoother on the Fuji, although it helps to have a closer minimum focus distance. But you will still get some separation out of that 2.0 aperture of the Rokinon. I'd also draw your attention to the colors. To my eye, the Rokinon produces higher out-of-camera contrast and cooler tones. Scott also pointed out to me that color fringing near the edges can be bad. Oh, this light is awesome.
Yeah, it's getting good.
Scott is a brave man. He's risking tetanus here in the name of artistry.
Well, I don't know if this will turn out to be artistic, but it's helpful to have a wide angle lens in this situation. The guy just took a block of wood or like a dowel of some kind, just whittled it down and shoved it in there.
Well, if you could get this running before sunset, that'd be great.
So I'm trying to get this really cool setting, like late afternoon sun shining off that back fender. But this is where a 12mm lens is hard, because it's just, the shot is a mess. If I want to get the car and have it be recognizable as a car, then I have to get the boat and this other car in the shot.
Okay, now Scott's going to do the same sort of shot, but with the 16mm 1.4. What do you think?
Yeah, this frame's better. I actually would, maybe a 23 would be perfect, but for it's okay. It's better with this.
In this shot, you'll notice that the Rokinon makes this Crown Victoria look almost squished. You'll start to see how the distortion will affect the image. Objects in the distance will also appear a bit larger on the Fuji due to compression. Additionally, while it's hard to see in most of these photos, the vignetting on the Rokinon will be much worse, especially at lower apertures than on the Fuji.
Have been taken in front of that American flag.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do mine there. All right, we're here at the Gunlock Rodeo. You have to say it like that.
Rodeo?
Yeah. Once again, Scott is the daring one. What Scott didn't realize is that this gate is wide open. is nice with that mountain back there. Yeah. You see, but this is where that lens would come in handy because I don't have enough. Gotta go behind this gate.
So I like how it has these three, what they are, sewer pipes or something, and then these three things, three pillars, except there's this big bush in the middle that I think...
You could totally shop that out. We just made our way fully through the town, which it took us a while to get through because we kept stopping obviously for good photos, but it's probably less than a mile long, this town, not exaggerating. But we finished. They've got a state park here with the reservoir out there. It's about sunset, or what do you say, about 10 minutes before the sun tips. So we're gonna try to frame up and get one last composition of the sunset on both lenses. So this is where we'll end. You can't see this on the video very well, but this is sort of sketch. Did you bring your machete?
No.
Because I don't know if we're gonna make it through there. Why don't you take one with both cameras, and once again we'll just compare.
This will be a little lens flare test.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Let's see, because that sun is almost directly in there. So now with the 16mm and the XE3.
Really like this foreground interest right here with that autumnal branch sticking towards that inlet and the light back there. Really beautiful. While these are different lenses in different classes and with different focal lengths, maybe we can at least make some conclusions on at least image quality. And in that regard, I'll state the obvious. The image quality of the Fuji 16mm 1.2 is better. But at 3 times the price, is its image quality 3 times better? I'll leave that up to you to decide, but know this. In the world of photography, incremental improvements to image quality, regardless of what gear, do not usually come in linear price increases. They are almost always exponential.
Perfect.
I really like shooting with other people. On my own, this would never have been my idea. I would never have been adventurous enough to come down here, but Scott, he's more adventurous than me. Scott took off, but he missed out on this amazing sunset. I think I'm going to switch lenses though to take this shot because I want a little bit tighter. Doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the vlog, but I'm going to end, really I'm going to end now, but I'm going to end on this last shot because it's so beautiful. So anyway, until next time, thanks for watching.